Hi guys, and welcome to It's Halloween Mischief. Today I'm going to be showing you a short tutorial on how to make one of these. Mulata Crafts asked if I could do a tutorial on it when I posted this for my 100 Days of Halloween picture on Instagram, and so I'm not going to do one exactly like this because I already have one obviously, but I will be showing you the same technique on how to do it. So the things that you'll need is one of the little glass blocks, and you can get these at many craft stores. I haven't actually seen them at Michael's or Joann's, but I have seen them at Hobby Lobby, and I got mine at Craft Warehouse, but I think that they're only in the Pacific Northwest, so you probably don't have them. Then they also have these little beads. Last time, I'm pretty sure that the ones that I got were just plain whites. These ones are kind of an off-whitish cream color, but I think that they'll do the same. I think it'll work the same. These ones are cheaper than the white ones, so that's why I did that. You'll probably find them in the wedding sections where they have all the different wedding supplies. And the items that I used for the zombie virus one, I got these little alcohol inks, and I thought I'd show you the ones that I got for them. So this one is called Eggplant, and this is kind of a dark purple, it's almost a blue color. And then I got Cranberry for the red. So this is the color that I used for the beads, and I used the eggplant on the outside of the container. So I did the eggplant, just kind of smeared it on. You can see there's some dark colors around the sides, and you use pieces of felt to put it on there. So you just like get the felt wet with the ink, and then you will rub it on to the portions where you want it at, and then just blotched for the red with the cranberry color. And the cranberry is what I used for the beads that are on the inside as well. So what I am going to be using, I will be using Clover and Sunset Orange for the project that I'm doing today. And that's because I don't need another zombie virus since I already have one. I have two little plastic bags that I'm going to use to put these beads into. I'm just going to cut off some sections. You can see they kind of like fray out and do their own little thing. Organized chaos, I suppose. So I am going to cut off most of this, and we're going to be doing most of it orange. Just kind of get it to a spot that is a good breaking point. I'm just going to clip that off. And clip off the price tag because we probably don't want that. And I'm going to shove all of this inside of this plastic bag. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some of the Sunset Orange inside of the bag with this. And just kind of squirt it in there. And then we'll zip it shut. Just kind of shake it around in there so that we get it all over. And this is what I did with the red for the zombie virus one. So I just did all of the beads red on that one. This one I'm going to be doing orange and green. kind of smush it around and check and see. You can see that most of the beads are covered with it. So just kind of move it around to make sure that there's not parts that aren't covered. If there are, you can just swoosh it around some more. You can add more ink, which I think I'm going to do because there's quite a few chunks that are not covered in here. So I'm just going to add a little bit more. And zip it back up. Maybe a little easier without so much air in it. Pretty good. I'm just going to leave this open like that to kind of air out a little bit. And I have another plastic bag somewhere. Oh, went over there. Yeah, probably needed that one's not holding it. And I'll just put this other one in here. This one's a lot smaller, so it'll be a lot easier to get it covered. And I'm going to use the clover of this. I'm not 100% for sure how I want to do the outside of this container, so I'm not going to be doing anything to it yet. I kind of was going back and forth against putting some of the alcohol inks on here to blotch it the way I did on here, just so that I could show you how I did it. But I think that it's pretty self-explanatory, so I don't think I'm going to do it, just because I feel like you guys can kind of do it for yourselves and decide how it works for you. And I think that mine will actually look better without it. So I'm going to be putting this little jack-o'-lantern smiley face on here, and that's what's going to be the front of mine. And I've decided that I'm going to have the hole in the top so I can have the orange beads down on the bottom, and then I'm going to rest the green ones across the top. So it'll be the smiley face here, and then it'll have green on the top, so it's kind of like it's a pumpkin. And these things are super easy to put on. I know that there are machines that you can make your own of these. It's actually something I've really thought about doing, was making my own. They don't want to come out of the package apparently. But a lot of craft stores do have these, and craft warehouses also where I got these at. Actually, all the items that I got for this project I got from Craft Warehouse. I have seen them at some other craft stores, but generally not, like Michael's and stuff like that. I have seen some really small ones at Joann's this year. They have ones for putting on mason jars, but none that are decent size like this. So I usually rub on the part that has the vinyl first to try and help it stick to the paper, because sometimes they're ornery and they don't like to stick. And I usually do front and back just to make sure that they're pressed down. And then we're going to peel the parts. Maybe. Want to just make sure that it sticks to the front part of it. The back is the part you're trying to take off. And that's because it has the clearer portion of it. It's easier to see through that than it is to see through the back, and you want to be able to see where you're putting your pieces at on your project. So just peel away slowly so that you don't lose any of it. We're going to apply this kind of low so that you have the green up on the top. You want to make sure that it's flat on all the parts that the vinyl is on. You don't want air pockets. So we're going to press on those, make sure that's flat. This middle part has an air bubble, so I'm just going to peel that up until I can get that part out. Now I'm going to press on the vinyl parts. Obviously this masking tape part is okay to have bubbles on because that's not going to be staying there. So just press on all the parts that the vinyl is on so that it sticks to the project. Right. Peel this back. We have a big fire going on. It's raining ash, so sorry. Very, very late summer of us. There are a couple little spots that have little tiny air bubbles, so just trying to push those over to the edge. Get those out. They pop pretty easily usually. And there we go. And you need to wait for your beads to dry from the alcohol inks before you put them in the container, because otherwise it will dye the insides of your container. If you want to use it for anything else, then obviously you won't want there to be dye on it. So that's how we do it, and then I will add a picture of the finished product at the end. I'm going to take these out of here though so you can see what they look like. I'm losing beads. Leave them out here to dry, and then once they're dry I will go ahead and add them into our project. Probably want gloves. Again, I do that a lot. I never wear gloves. And these ones, the clover has more of a sheen to it than I would have preferred, but it is a very pretty color, and I think once it's dry it probably won't look as shiny. I'm happy with it. It'll look good. And I'll post a picture probably well, I'm posting this video tomorrow, so I'll probably post the picture on Monday as well of what it'll look like once it's all finished. So I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial, and I hope that you guys are out there getting into some Halloween mischief, and I will see you next time. Thank you! Alright, so after the beads have dried, I went to put them into the block, and I've decided that I'm going to need to go and get more of the beads because it's barely half full and it just doesn't look right. So I'm going to get some more to make it a little bit thicker inside of here, make it look better. I also decided that I feel like it does actually need some of the orange blotches on it, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and I'll see if my friend is able to film me again, because that was helpful to not have to hold it while I was trying to do this stuff. So I'll see if I can have my friend hold the camera for me again so that I can do that and put some of the blotches on here. Alright, so I am using fleece instead of felt because apparently I threw away all the felt that I have. So I'm just using a little scrap of fleece, and you're just going to take some of your alcohol dye and you're going to put it on your fleece. Doesn't really matter how you do it, just kind of squirt it on there. I'm going to put this up so that the dog doesn't knock it over. And you're going to just take this and you're just going to blot it. And you just put it wherever it is that you want it to be at. With the zombie virus one, I just made it look like little blood splatters. And with the eggplant, I kind of spread it over the whole thing. This, I'm planning on kind of covering all of it, but I want some spots to be a little bit thicker than others because it's a pumpkin and they're not completely solid in color. So I'm just going to blot it on here. And I wanted the orange to go up to about the top of his eyes. So I'm going to put the orange that high up on the outside, just so that it has that orange color once I have the beads filling it up like it's supposed to be. And it's doing a very, very, very light orange tint on it. Make sure that between his teeth is covered. So you can see that it has that orange tint over the top of it, whereas this is what it looks like without it. And as that dries, it gets a little bit darker, and you can always add more if it doesn't come out to the color that you're hoping for. You can add more on there to make it the dark color that you're looking for. And so that's about it. I'm going to let this guy dry, and I'll put some on the sides as well so that we have it orange all over. And he can be a happy little jack-o'-lantern and get some more beads so that the whole thing is full instead of it being half full, because that looks kind of sad. For reals this time, thank you for joining, and I hope you guys are out there getting into some Halloween mischief. Have a good night.